more on the story and speak to Nicky Woolf, who is live for us in the US Capitol. He's the Washington correspondent for the Guardian newspaper. Many thanks for joining us, Nicky. Why do you think the FBI has done this now, 11 days out from the election?
It's a complete mystery, and no one really knows what FBI Director James Comey really had in mind when he sent this letter to Congress. It's an extraordinary and unprecedented move. The latest in a string of these, when he closed the investigation into Clinton's emails in July, he gave a direct televised press conference, which is the first time any FBI investigation, let alone any FBI director, has done so in a high-profile investigation into a politician like this, especially as Clinton herself said, with 10 days to go and the most contentious and hard-fought election in most people's political memories.
How damaging do you think it's going to be to Clinton? I mean, it's been a few hours since this all came out. I mean, what's the reaction sort of been?
I mean, predictably, the Republicans have jumped straight on this. Trump was already talking about it in his rallies over the last day or so. The question is, the polls have been tightening, as could be expected as the election day gets closer. But my guess would be that people have already made their minds up about the emails one way or the other. I'm not sure that this is the big rescue that Trump needed. He's been lagging in the polls in pretty much all of the key swing states that he would need to win. It would take a pretty huge swing at this point to put the election within his grasp. I'm not sure this gives it to him, but it certainly put some wind in his sails for the moment.
What do you think of the way she has handled it?
It's difficult to really. I mean, this is an issue that's dogged Clinton for 18 months now, and she's handling it roughly as best she can. It's interesting that she's standing by Aberdeen, her aide, who did split up with former Congressman Weiner over the summer when the latest batch of scandal came out. Really, there's not a huge amount more she can do. This was a complete blindside from the FBI. All she can do is downplay it and try to write it out, I think, and that's pretty much what she's doing. Even
if this email thing comes to nothing, I mean, do you think it's, in terms of the voters, does it sort of add to that feeling that this whole election has been so dirty? It's just going to put people off going to the polls and making any sort of vote.
Yeah, absolutely. But it bears saying that this is an election with two candidates who are both pretty much the most unpopular that any have ever been in in American presidential history. Most people I speak to kind of on the road are voting against the other candidate rather than in an active way for their candidate. That's the kind of story that keeps coming over and over. I don't think this changes things. I think Trump supporters already thought Clinton was, as Trump keeps calling her, crooked Hillary. And on the other hand, Clinton supporters, this hasn't changed the way they feel about Trump at all. He's still the same bombastic, crazy, accused of sexual assault, the guy that he was before this. I don't see this changing the arithmetic for many people. But as I say, it's about going into the election on a high note or a low note, and this is certainly not what the Clinton campaign would have hoped for.
No. Okay, Nicky, appreciate your thoughts and your time today. 10 days out, will there be any more bombshells? That's the question. Nicky Woolf, Washington correspondent from the Guardian newspaper.